ヒグマバトル、ヒグマバトル。タイトルはオンライン成功花火なんですか。癒されないってことです。線香花火なんだって。線香花火なんだって。線香花火なんだって。線香花火なんだって。モロジックやるか。ご飯ある。モロジックやるか。テイクヒント。ご飯ある。連続検査しないでよ。モロジックやるか。スパイステイクヒント。ご飯ある。どこがノーロジックやん。ちゃんと連続検査しないでよ。モロジックやるか。スパイステイクヒント。なるほどね。はい。どこがノーロジックだ。連続検査しないよ。ノーロジックやるか。は？スパイステイクヒント。なるほどね。はい。どこがノーロジックだ。ジャンプ機がね、仙台今の Y だからね。右手に振り返って死んだかい人か。モロジックやるか。は？スパイステイクヒント。なるほどね。はい。どこがノーロジックだ。ジャンプ機がね、仙台今の Y だからね。右手に振り返って死んだかい人か。モロジックやるか。は？スパイステイクヒント。折れないじゃん。どうする？なるほどね。ジャンプ機がね、仙台今の Y だからね。右手に振り返って死んだかい人か。モロジックやるか。は？スパイステイクヒント。折れないじゃん。どうする？なるほどね。はい。どこがノーロジックだ。ジャンプ機がね、仙台今の Y だからね。右手に振り返って死んだかい人か。モロジックやるか。は？スパイステイクヒント。折れないじゃん。どうする？マイル。あ、そう。なるほどね。はい。どこがノーロジックだ。ジャンプ機がね、仙台今の Y だからね。右手に振り返って死んだかい人か。こいつ。は？スパイステイクヒント。折れないじゃん。どうする？マイル。あ、そう。なるほどね。はい。ジャンプ機がね、仙台今の Y だからね。右手に振り返って死んだかい。こいつ。は？スパイス折れないじゃん。どうする？マイル。あ、そう。なるほどね。はい。どこがジャンプ機 Y だからね。こいつは取れないじゃん。どう構えるんですか。あ、そう。何線香花火か。魔界の牧場。ゆるキャンの聖地ってどこ？マッキンリー？マッキンリー。ゆるキャンって最後マッキンリーで死ぬんじゃないの？クレバスに落ちて。それは上村直美だろ。誰か鉄砲持ってやつがいるんだよね。もともといたところ。原産地ってこと？カワウソみたいに言われてる。あの四角いのなんだろう。ここ足場なの？ノーロジックすぎるマジで。で何なんだこれで。何なの？わかんねえ。何なんだよ。What is that? 何？ああ。大文字焼きは別に大って主張したわけじゃないんだから。これが意味わかんねえんだよ。どうするんだこれ。ダメか。俺知ってるよ。そういうところ。道の駅って言うんだけどさ。キャンプって野宿だろ。 はあ、峠あるわよ、これ。野宿競技の能力は何エイム、多分クソエイムなんだろうな。あー、知った。ここを抜けろ。気合で抜けられない。新種牛7のラップマシン。工場やむ。カフジ歌詞に見えたね。あー、見せた。寒い寒い。行ってないしです。あっ、なあ、通常このシステムの話をしろ。レイアイス行ってどうすんの？死体のふりに運び出されるの？ハマルート君。叩くとテントじゃない。はあ？何それ。伝統的なゲームを持っている。そんなめちゃくちゃさはないだろ。リアリティってものがよ。キャラクターデザインに見合ったリアリティってものがあ。あれ針が出るやつだな。違う、あれ針が出るやつじゃない。あ、なんでこの辺感性ってのがあるんだろう。いや、この世には別にやってもいいんだけど、なんでゲームの中にやるんだろう。あ、何アモンガスやってんの？ 割とロジカルなんだけど、本当にね、点々のね、なんか持ってきたゲームね、嘘ばっかだから嫌い。09。あ、まだレベル 9？ どうすんの？あ、追い越せるんだ、俺。あ、ベース。このゲーム何があれってね、先生が持ってきたゲームじゃないんだよ。俺が勝手に買ったゲームなんだよな。あ、そしてこのゲームね、なぜ買ったかっていうと、言語は英語とロシア語しかなかったから。そうそう。このゲームの今のところやばいのは BGM が明らかにパクリ。なんなんだよ。 ロジックだからな。ジャンプのね、完成がね、読みづらいんだよ。あ、ミスった。ミスった。ブベブベブベ。精密プラットフォームなんだ。書いてあったから、なんだっけ、プラットフォームゲームプレイングって。あー、やった、終わった。なんだこれ。Where is my body じゃねえんだよ。は？なんで急にソニックみたいなのやり始めるの？ここソニック。ソニックってなんだよ。は？なんだその挙動。俺は認めてないぞそんな挙動。壁ジャンプっていうか空中で何回でもジャンプできるんじゃん。回るんじゃんこのステージ。今気づいたわ。Do not rush。焦るな。こいつ そんお前さ、マジでさ、俺は許されんだろ。許されんって俺が許さんだけなんだけど、それは世間が許さないよと言うけれども、世間というのは君じゃないのか。そうだよ、殺すぞ。俺が世間だ。殺すぞ。どうしろってんだよ。なんでそうでかいんだよ、針の当たり判定が。不謹慎とそういう発想ないのかよ。ないかもしれない、中国人だから多分こうしろってことだろ。こいつそうなるだろうなと思ったが、いつ来るかわからないからやっちゃったよ。マジでよ。なんかこうさ、レベル11でもう集大成みたいなの出してくれるらしいんだよね。それは他人の使えないだろうかな。ラッキー。あ、終わった。シンプル。シンプルだね。殺すぞ。なんで急になんかなんかなんで急になんか3D テトリスだろみたいな。ムカついてきたな。どうやるんだこれ。X は Twitter だよ。阿弥陀様の票を取った。 のゲーム嫌いだよ。タイトル I hate 実ゲームに変えた方がいいよ。ノーロジックっていうか聞いてねえんだわこれ。この設定はさ、あ、こけた。何がシンプルなんだよマジでよ。求められるのは特にね、論理性とか工夫とかではなくて、ひたすら精密プラットフォームなら本当に辛い。え？なんだ今の挙動。銅がなければできる。これちょっとこう踏ん張るってこと覚えてほしいんだよな。この調子で80円もあるのか勘弁してくれよ。大変なんじゃないの？でもどういう運びかわからないぞ。いやいや調理師とかもしれないし。言わない。白衣の天使ってのはそういうクリーチャーじゃないの？研究者は作業着でしょ。緑のトヨタ中央圏って書いてある。でっか。かけなく漢中なんでトンネルここ起きんのここ。創作です。なんでカンペは息子だろうが。カンペはいたから。なんだよ。なんで台の上で寝返りをすり抜けるんだよ。 け号。簡単にしろよ。なんで難しいで残したの？無理。わからん。無理。いや、わかるけど、無理。だから、攻めつばったも嫌だったじゃん、俺。なんだ、ひろしって。ソードワールドのキャラクターの作るか。脳みそ疲れた。あ、日本では違法な武器だ。日本では違法な武器が結構いっぱいあるな。こんな来るくらいだよ。何？製図の達人？なんだ。 ソードワールドオンライン、ソードワールドってこんなにいっぱい種族があるのか。いいな、蛮族プレイ、蛮族 PC。俺このバジリスクってなりたいな。なんか、虫人間みたいな種族ないの？グラスランナーって何？やだ、そんな虫。小人か。やめよう。ハーフリングか。ハーフリング弱いから嫌い。なんか、だいたいかぶるし。キスキンと。スプリガン。まあいいや。俺2.0しか持ってないし。2.5 のキャラクターの話はやめよう。何が？ナイトメアって化け物じゃないんだな。がっかりだよ俺。ナイトメアやろうと思ってたのに。俺が知ってるナイトメアってこういうのだよ。 あ、グラスランナーって乗ってるわ、普通に。あまりにも興味なかったからスルーしたんだな。かつかエルフのマギテックやってるのかな。なぜ存在しないものになろうとするんだ。ああ、あれか。チカチカパズル。で、もう一回クリアしようか。あーほで、それで一番カードしたら終わりじゃん。左下。はあ、なんでだよ。斜めも消えるルールだろうが。もうこれでいいか。あだーケンケンパでしょ。
一筋の光、電子の海を漂うオタクに笑顔、未来の平和をお約束、動物だけの明るさでインターネットエンゼルただいま降臨。
頂点ちゃんでって読めるんだな。どれで
Alright you guys, here is one big guy lifting heavy weights, over 2,300 pounds, so it's 1 ton.
Эльдорадо, мы идем к вам.
And here he is lifting the wall rack, plus one big dumbbell on top of it. Imagine needing those plates and he won't let you because of this. Have you noticed the chain around his waist? I'm not sure where his legs are, but this exercise is called the belly lift. Look on what he's lying there. Come on, it gets worse and worse. This is probably the heaviest attempted squat ever. From 1 to 10 on a scale of craziness. How crazy is this guy? If you want to see more of him, just let me know in the comments. What do you think about him and his crazy lifts?
find the building. But don't nobody want to lift no heavy ass weight.
Okay, you guys, with this Slayer shirt, here is the beast in the building. We are getting an insight of how much he will be lifting here. The wall stack plus a small plate for extra resistance. And if you ask what he just threw away there, it was his pre-workout that he takes in lines through the nose. Now he's going for the stir-fry move, like James Harden after a buzzer beater. So after taking a line and cooking in the kitchen, he is ready to explode. All the preparation and that effort for 2 reps. 2 reps of the wall stack plus a small plate. For the next exercise he will be taking 1 more line. Here is a guy with a ponytail who is doing vertical leg presses on a Smith machine without safeties. No matter how you look at it, it is dumb to do it on a Smith machine. There is a vertical leg press machine for that, and if your gym doesn't have it, do a regular leg press instead.
We are sinking. We are sinking. We are sinking. We're sinking.
Having all the weight focused into one tiny area of your feet can be uncomfortable. And this will also destroy your lower back, even when you shove mats under it. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Baby reps. You need baby reps. Right now, without walking, just do baby reps. Little baby reps. Baby reps. Little baby reps. Yes. Keep doing baby reps. Baby reps. Little baby reps. Yes. Keep doing baby reps. Baby reps.
Here is a guy who wants to bench press 3 plates. The spotter though does not have much sense of responsibility. But who would have thought that the bar slips out of his hands with thumbs around the bar? Who goes to a gym with a can of Monster Energy and a pack of cigarettes? Only the ones at Planet Fitness. An energy drink is a good way to wash down the pizza with, but it's not even the 0 calories can. This guy is rehabbing a broken collarbone, but the benches were all taken, so he had to find another place to do this. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and if you're still single, make sure to get your workout in that you need for this romantic day. What is that machine called anyway? The Hand Party 2000?
Lightweight, baby! Woo! 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 Yeah! Oh, yeah! Yeah, buddy!
Have you ever wondered why you do crunches every day but your abs aren't showing already? Well, you stupid. You really thought you can do crunches and ab workout with your own body? Go and get yourself the Chisel 3000, designed by Mike Chang, the god of abs. What a great 6-pack shortcut. So intense, isn't it? Have a look at this idiots. They came up with the ultimate secret for shredded legs, right there, hidden under their leggings. They will be revealed on stage. Wow, the girls, man. I'm thinking about the girls who sit in front of the screen right now and watch this guy lifting heavy weights with such a coolness. The reason why he put a bench under there is to make an excuse for his quarter reps. Brother, I can't hit depth. This bench is right there under me.
Drive it up! Now, baby reps. You need baby reps. Right now, without walking, just do baby reps. Little baby reps. Baby reps. 1. Yeah, just stay there, Adam. Little baby reps. Yes. Keep doing baby reps. Fry your legs. Excellent. 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 That's what I'm talking about. Nothing left. Nothing left. Not bad for your first set.
Hope this guy has no baby, because he has no reps also. Yeah, never skip dislocate day. Also, what is this guy doing there in red in the background? Adding a 5-pound plate to his body to squat at the squat rack. Okay, here is a guy 100% not staged, but 100% delusional. Doing single-handed bicep curls with 12 plates, which is 540 pounds, around 240 kilograms. There should be a psychologist in every gym to treat this kind of people. And he should be paid really good. What do you think?
해보자.
Anybody want to be a bodybuilder? But don't nobody want to lift no heavy ass weight.
People are going crazy about this new ab stimulator.
루스.
Oh,
지고-
right, you
지고
guys.
얘기해,
Here
이거.
are two guys,
그만하나.
no legs. They are acting strong and tough, but they wouldn't last a second on the battleground, because battleground requires leg. The guy with the red shoes has SpongeBob legs, and he treats his legs like Squidward treats his job in the Krusty Krab. He hates it. He got the Adidas shoes because it stands for All Day I Dream About Strength, or All Day I Do All Sports except anything that involves legs. Their legs are so small you can even see bigger legs on Pistorius. And when he goes to an Asian restaurant and they serve him food to eat with chopsticks, he returns the sticks because he brought his own. He looks like he was raised by a group of flamingos. He neglected his lower body like a bad drunk parent who neglected his child. Now let's have a look at this group of guys. They don't skip a workout no matter the weather outside. They got all the motivation from watching a podcast of David Goggins. Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? Not this guy here. The only thing that he will ever carry is STDs. He's not working out his legs, he's preparing for time in prison. This is how he motivates himself to do full range of motion and to hit depth. This is his definition of real hard work. This workout is called Instagram Sumo Calf Races with a TikTok Spine Superset. When the guys came for help, she said, "I have a boyfriend." And now the guys are facing time in prison for harassment. Someone arrest this guy for his poor form on the bench. If he keeps lifting like that, it will be his spinal countdown until injury. After this workout, they set up a GoFundMe for a new spine. Actually, this here is a big misunderstanding. The guy on the bench is not the one who's lifting. He's actually spotting his friend who's doing one-armed shoulder shrugs. What a good friend he is. He sacrificed his spine for his friend to strengthen his shoulders. Talking about spotting, this guy has the best spotter of all time. And if you listen close enough, you can hear the pig saying, "Please help." Check out this gym here, which was leaking from the heavy rain outside. The buckets on the ground are working harder than anyone in the gym.
카노에고.
Here is an old rustic gym where many gains were made. It's also known as Planet Fitness Chernobyl Edition.
아니, 너걸
or
왜
some
읽어,
people call it Planet Titanos. No wiping down after using the equipment required. And re-racking is
빠르네,
banned.
진짜.
People who work out here carry two things with them. First thing is a water bottle and the second thing is an oil can so they can get the machines going. But anyway, you guys, always remember, at the end of the day, it's night. And every little thing is gonna be alright. If it's not alright, it's not the end.
진부심을 썼던 내가.
Anybody want to be a bodybuilder? But don't nobody want to lift no heavy ass weight.
Alright, you guys, welcome to the weird side of the internet. This man never skips neck day, and he bites the towel because he also never skips teeth day. He got those white gloves like Michael Jackson. And if he was a dinosaur, he would be called Tyrannosaurus neck. This man is training to neck flex and chill with the girl next door. His shirt says 91 because he got 91 problems and neck pain are all of them. His favorite pre-workout drink is nectarine juice. Everybody wanna be a bodybuilder, but this little animal wants to be a birdie builder.
Push it more. タイタンでし
The
ょ
bird is hardworking and clever. He just needs to be pushed a little. He knows that the early bird gets the worm. Talking about hard work, this UPS driver is strong and he's training to put FedEx out of business.
5, 6, 7,
Oh jeez, so young.
9.
あ、タイタンじゃん。
The sun is out, the guns are out, and the grass starts growing again. This man is training to start his lawnmower. Some people cut grass, others cut hair, but no matter what, the grind
あれ
never
かですよ、でも
stops.
じゃあ。
The difference between a natural athlete and a barber is the barber takes a
いや、知ら
shortcut.
ん。多分書いてないでしょ。フリーザできるの。
Never skip concussion day. This guy forgot about his fan on the ceiling, but then it hit him. He got hit by a fan like he was a celebrity. Anything is possible when you have the right people there to support you, but this guy on the bench press has the wrong people around him, because they support his ego. Here are 3 guys and 3 different workouts. If you had $1 for every IQ point in this video, you will be in debt.
パワータフガールズ。
At least they know how to make a woman laugh. Unlike this guy who covered his eyes, and when he enters a bar, girls cover their drinks. Just joking, he doesn't go to bars, he got a wife at home and he's training to agree with her. It's not always right to film people in the gym unless it's Boris Johnson, the former Prime Minister of the UK. Looks like he's taking a break from politics. And the last couple years he never skipped disappointing his country day. Talking about the UK, here is a famous gym in central London, England. And this gym now has the best rating in the entire country after Brexit. But this gym is a little bit expensive because it comes with new free drinks such as royal tea. In England, gym freaks are trying to get more definition than the Oxford Dictionary. This man's t-shirt says, "I'm just that good." But to be honest, he doesn't look muy bueno. He never skips disappointing Sus Padres Day. But at least he's having fun, and that's what counts. And always remember, at the end of the day, it's night. And every little thing is gonna be alright. If it's not alright, it's not the end.
Anybody want to be a bodybuilder? But don't nobody want to lift no heavy ass weights.
Alright you guys, today we are gonna be talking about re-racking your weights, because too many people are still not doing it. Re-racking your weights is about respect, like eating out at a fast food place and cleaning up your mess afterwards. And if you don't re-rack your weights, you have not completed your gains. Re-racking your weights is a bodybuilding secret that no one tells you about. It gives you that extra pump, don't miss it. Putting back the weights after your workout should be as common as brushing your teeth before going to bed. But you don't need to re-rack your weights if you use humans as weights. This man is training to pick up chicks and the girls re-rack themselves. But unfortunately nobody will ever know how much he's lifting, because women will never tell you how much they weigh. And the girls wear makeup, so technically he's lifting fake weights. But unlike real weights, they are easier to pick up the heavier they get. When he's using the girls as dumbbells, he's treating them as objects. This old man was caught staring at girls in the gym. Maybe he just wanted to exercise his eyesight or his left side of the neck. Girls don't want men to look for free. Men are only allowed to stare if they are subscribed to their OnlyFans.
Feral, like feral. I hate this. I hate when there's Sweetos. It's so uncomfortable.
Everybody wanna be a bodybuilder, but don't nobody wanna lift heavy weights. Except this guy. But his range of motion is so small, the reps don't even count as baby reps. They are fetus reps. Maybe not even that. These are abortion reps.
You need baby reps right now without walking. Just do baby reps. Little baby reps. Baby reps. 1. Yeah, just stay there, Adam. Little baby reps. Yes. Keep doing baby reps. X.
Filming people in the gym is not to shame them, it's to learn from them. And we can learn a lot from this guy. For example, the importance of building your own home gym.
即席はアーティファクト専用の
This man is in a fight with his ego. He doesn't have a personal trainer for weightlifting. He got a personal
アーティファ
problem
クトが
with
同じも
lifting
のを与える
weights.
助けになります。アーティファクトタップするとマナーになるの。それ専用の。
He was banging the gym equipment because women won't let him. Same for this guy.
アーティファクトだ。そう。
Anyway, you guys, always remember, at the end of the day, it's night, and every little thing is gonna be alright. If it's not alright, it's not the end. Also, make sure to check out the second channel for more upcoming entertainment.
Anybody want to be a bodybuilder?
Alright, you guys. Here are two guys, no legs. They are acting strong and tough, but they wouldn't last a second on the battleground, because battleground requires leg. The guy with the red shoes has SpongeBob legs, and he treats his legs like Squidward treats his job in the Krusty Krab. He hates it. He got the Adidas shoes because it stands for All Day I Dream About Strength, or All Day I Do All Sports except anything that involves legs. Their legs are so small you can even see bigger legs on Pistorius. And when he goes to an Asian restaurant and they serve him food to eat with chopsticks, he returns the sticks because he brought his own. He looks like he was raised by a group of flamingos. He neglected his lower body like a bad drunk parent who neglected his child. Now let's have a look at this group of guys. They don't skip a workout no matter the weather outside. They got all the motivation from watching a podcast of David Goggins. Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? Not this guy here. The only thing that he will ever carry is STDs. He's not working out his legs, he's preparing for time in prison. This is how he motivates himself to do full range of motion and to hit depth. This is his definition of real hard work. This workout is called Instagram Sumo Calf Races with a TikTok Spine Superset. When the guys came for help, she said, "I have a boyfriend." And now the guys are facing time in prison for harassment. Someone arrest this guy for his poor form on the bench. If he keeps lifting like that, it will be his spinal countdown until injury. After this workout, they set up a GoFundMe for a new spine. Actually, this here is a big misunderstanding. The guy on the bench is not the one who's lifting. He's actually spotting his friend who's doing one-armed shoulder shrugs. What a good friend he is. He sacrificed his spine for his friend to strengthen his shoulders. Talking about spotting, this guy has the best spotter of all time. And if you listen close enough, you can hear the pig saying, "Please help." Check out this gym here, which was leaking from the heavy rain outside. The buckets on the ground are working harder than anyone in the gym. Here is an old rustic gym where many gains were made. It's also known as Planet Fitness Chernobyl Edition, or as some people call it, Planet Titanos. No wiping down after using the equipment required, and re-wrecking is banned. People who work out here carry two things with them. First thing is a water bottle, and the second thing is an oil can so they can get the machines going. But anyway, you guys, always remember, at the end of the day, it's night, and every little thing is gonna be alright. If it's not alright, it's not the end.
Me of when I did that video on Naked and Afraid about Cassie and Forrest. I only covered that one episode of the show, but I watched 2 seasons of it to know what a typical episode looks like. A very common problem on that show was that the women would refuse to kill animals to eat, even if they weren't vegetarian. Keep in mind that if you go on Naked and Afraid, you're supposed to be a survival expert. Well, at least in the first 2 seasons they were supposed to be. So even the trained women will commonly refuse to do the work to provide the food they have no problem with buying at the store in a fancy package. The women on the island were the same way.
The fate of Sage and Onion hangs in the balance. The women have befriended them and now can't agree whether or not to eat them.
I am hungry. I don't think I could look into his little piggy eyes and then kill him.
At this point in the show, the men had to run out and go find their food. They were able to successfully capture a crocodile, while the women had food just walk up to them, and they were unwilling to do what it takes to survive. And I think this brings up an interesting point that holds a lot of people back. This happens everywhere, but I see it on YouTube all the time, so that's the example I'm going to go with. YouTubers will say things like, "I don't want to create interesting titles, that's clickbait." Look, that's fine, but have fun getting like 1/10 of the viewers because your title isn't good. And I literally mean that a bad title will harm you that much. Not to mention there are plenty of ways to make good titles without lying to your viewers. But that's a skill that you have to practice. Not putting the work in to learn how to attract an audience says to me that you don't want to put the time in or make the sacrifices it takes to be successful. If you are going to survive on an island where there aren't enough plants to sustain you, then you need to hunt or you will die. None of the women were willing to kill except for Lauren the nurse. Everyone but Lauren and Jamie, who was a vegetarian and only ate plants, should be ashamed of themselves for eating meat without being willing to do the dirty work themselves. So Lauren does eventually kill the 2 piglets, and the women finally get to eat, except for Jamie, the vegetarian. Now there are some questions that people had about the show that I certainly have as well. For example, how exactly do 2 domesticated pigs just suddenly walk up onto the women's camp without a care in the world when the women were starving? Also curious, there were 2 piglets from an earlier scene the women found by chance, but ignored because their mom was around and they were afraid of being attacked. However, just a few minutes later into the episode, 2 very similar looking piglets show up without a mom to protect them. That's very questionable, but I don't have any evidence to say that the producers released those pigs to help out the women. However, Bear Grylls admitted that the show stocked the island with different animals, so everything there wasn't entirely native. But then, people also found it strange that this fully grown pig was just laying out there in the open, not caught in a trap, perfectly fine with a bunch of people walking up to it.
There. You see it? Oh, yeah. It's a pig.
A hunting party led by Lauren has stumbled across a sleeping pig in the middle of the jungle.
People were saying that the pig was drugged, and that's why the women were able to catch it. But I have a different explanation for why it put up so little resistance. Later, the women found out that the pig was full of ticks. The pig was probably half dead when they tried to capture it, which is why it didn't make much of an effort to run away. So I will give the women credit for catching that one. However, this leads us to our third crisis, outside of their camp now being infested with ticks. For some reason, the women decide to preserve the pig leftovers in one of their water canisters and bury it underground. This didn't work, and all the women got sick the next day from eating rotten meat, except for Jamie, the vegetarian. It's at this point they make their most disastrous screw-up that would have killed everyone if the emergency medical team didn't help them. The women took the water canister, which was full of rotten pig, and instead of trying to sanitize it, they threw it away.
With the preserved pork no longer edible, the women removed the pig's remains and jerrycan of putrid meat from the camp. Unconvinced they could salvage a rancid jerrycan and use it to purify the water again, the women throw it away. Now with only one jerrycan to produce all their water, the women are unknowingly heading towards a dehydration crisis.
What were they thinking? This messed up their entire filtration system and cut the amount of water they could produce in half. The women used one canister to filter the water and one canister to boil it. By the way, speaking of the men, they had a far more sophisticated water filtration system than the women did that resulted in cleaner water, and the men never seemed to have a problem with dehydration.
I don't want to drink the water. It tastes of poo. You drink it, then you go, and then you vomit.
Have you learned to hate drinking warm water?
Actually, it's good. It's really good. And you don't have to kind of just knock it back. It's decent water. The water was not an issue.
Yeah.
And actually, dehydration was your own fault rather than lack of water. Yeah.
So, the women threw away their water canister, which halved their water supply, and now they're all dehydrated. Really? how hard is it to wash the container out in the ocean, let it air out in the sun, and boil water in it to kill the rest of the bacteria? You've been boiling water to kill bacteria the entire time you've been on the island. A little while later, all of the women almost died and had to be saved by the medical team. This medical visit came with the extremely obvious advice, which was telling the women to sanitize the dirty canister. You can hear the medical team's eyes rolling when they say this.
Your bodies are just starting to fail at this point.
Now, there's no easy way to say this.
I'm teetering right on the brink
Of pulling you all off the island for medical
reasons, over.
The solution is
Use the other jerry can. I can't
say it any other way.
So the women don't die of dehydration, and later in the episode, one of the women gets a random ship that passes by to give her a free fish.
You have fish?
Get a fish?
One fish?
He's gonna throw it!
Oh, you're very, very kind. Whoa!
Now I think that is a
barracuda.
We caught a fish!
Yeah! Oh my god, it's massive!
Okay, that's totally not cheating. Now, another thing you will notice if you watch this season, by the way, it's season 2, and it's free if you have Amazon Prime, but if you watch it, you will see that one of the big problems the women have is laziness. I think someone forgot to tell them that this is survival. You are supposed to work from the time the sun comes up until the sun goes down and you can't see anymore. If you watch the men, they barely had any downtime or vast periods of slacking off until the last day. But with the women, Bear's first perception of them was that they were too busy chatting instead of moving forward.
You know, it's 4 o'clock, it's going to get dark here in a couple of hours, and already, you know, there've been 15 minutes, chat on the beach. They need to work hard, get moving.
That wasn't just a problem they had on the first day. Here's more slacking off from the women.
2 p.m. Julie is still fishing, whilst the rest of the women are more interested in sunbathing and relaxing on the beach.
Oh, this is why we came here. This bay is the absolute dream, isn't it?
Beth and Lauren wake to discover none of the other women have done any work.
We stayed up, we cooked breakfast for everybody, we cooked supper for everybody, and then we needed a kind of a little bit of a break today, and because we've had a break, everybody else has had a fucking break, and nothing's happened.
Keep in mind that the previous clip comes from the same episode where they were all dying of dehydration, and it continues up until the final week. Here is Belinda, the doctor, splashing around in the water with Jamie instead of working when everyone is starving and dehydrated.
While the rest of the group toil away on the bed shelter, Jamie and Belinda decide to take the afternoon off.
After watching the show, my thought was that they wouldn't have had half of the problems they did if they just worked harder. That, and my final point, which was that there was zero leadership on the women's island whatsoever.
From day one, the women have governed themselves in a leaderless community, trying to make group decisions.
What, was there not enough wood? Have you ran out of wood now?
We ran out of wood last night and everyone went
You're
to
joking.
There's no leader. Not one person rules the roost. We work collectively. So if, say, I want to go foraging, I don't have to be told to go foraging.
Luchador con cuernos.
Foraging.
All the decisions we've made thus far have been made collaboratively. We've not needed to conform to a system where there's a leader.
So how's that working for you? My understanding is that you have all almost died twice. As I said, being independent and doing whatever you want is a luxury afforded to you by living in a first world country. You need leadership and you need someone to set goals for the group. Even if those goals aren't that great, it's better that you're working towards something rather than working towards nothing. And of course, lesser goals can always be tossed out as better ones are found. However, the women were rather good at doing nothing, partially because they had no direction, and they should have decided on a leader right away. Both the men and the women failed to do that within the first few days. As for the men, although it wasn't really talked about, I believe they eventually established Will, the guy who ruptured a tendon and had to be evacuated, as their leader. Leaders decide on goals, and you need to have a goal to run a functioning group. You need to have goals to run a functioning life. You can't just follow your bliss and only forage when you want to forage. Survival and success are about getting yourself to do a bunch of things you don't want to do, not about doing whatever you want when it's convenient for you to do so. The second thing leaders do, especially if they are smart, is divide labor so that people are set in the roles they are best at. You have 14 people, but you don't need 14 fishers. Someone has to fish, someone has to collect water, someone has to keep the fire alive, and someone has to build shelter. It's up to the leader to decide who is best to handle those jobs. Last, leaders are there to handle conflict and ensure people get along. Conflict will kill a group, which surprisingly was pretty well displayed in the first episode of the Men's Island, as it caused one of their very useful builders to leave. Remember, I did say the men had their struggles too, though conflict was a pretty big problem on the Women's Island. Eventually, the women come to their senses and make Lauren the leader. To me, Lauren was the clear choice because she says things like this.
I will not let people see that I'm feeling just as weak as them, because I actually feel like some people need strength from other people to
Barbecue bacon burger.
Personally, I think this is one of the few good decisions that the women make. A leader is the person who goes first. That's why it's called a leader, they lead. Lauren was the first to kill an animal so they could all eat when no one else wanted to. Actually, outside of a few fish at the very end, I don't remember any of the women except for Lauren killing anything for food. Lauren was also the only one on the team who had any meaningful survival experience. In a podcast recorded over a year after the show was filmed, Lauren states that she joined a competition to row across the Atlantic Ocean, where she was stuck in a boat with one friend for over 3 months. About a month of that was just them trying to survive while they were waiting for help.
Oh, shit!
She didn't finish the race, but she went back after the island. It takes a heavy amount of grit to do that. Anyway, things immediately got better once we established a leader, and they actually started getting stuff done in the last week. Also, for some reason, they chose this person, Beth, as a leader too, but as far as what we can see on the show, Lauren pretty much did all the work leading. So now we are at the end of the show. The men made it on the island for 6 weeks, and the women sort of made it on the island for 6 weeks. I did, however, find it funny that both groups went right to gender stereotypes. The men were primarily focused on hunting for food, while the women were primarily focused on gathering. At the end of the 6 weeks, each team showed off their camps to Bear Grylls. The men's camp was very utilitarian, while the women's camp was very decorated and made over. One more thing, the women slept communally, while the men slept individually. So this show turned out to be a real win for feminism on breaking gender stereotypes. By the way, there were more examples on them conforming to stereotypes than the ones I gave. Another win for feminism is that Ruth England called season 1 of the show sexist because only men were allowed on that season. She said it portrayed the notion that women needed to be helped to survive. Well, seeing that the women almost died twice throughout the 6 weeks and almost had their team member Fran die in the first week, I don't see how Ruth England's notion that average women can survive without men is proven.
So many people watched that first series and said, you know, women would have done much better. They would have multitasked. They wouldn't have had the ego.
Still, the show went to great lengths at the end to make the women seem better than they were.
If I hadn't turned up today, and I turned up in 6 months, I bet these guys would be in pretty good shape. And I knew it. I knew the stereotype was wrong, you know? But I knew they could nail this.
Wow, the pandering is strong here. There is no way they would have made it 6 months. How about this? What if we just accepted that men and women have certain limitations and moved on with our lives? Now for this last part, I want to talk a little bit about the commercial. It didn't have much drama, but there was one really interesting episode that I think brings up something very valuable. To say this euphemistically, the men's team had some very strong personalities. As I said before, one member, Paul, left the island because he couldn't get along with another team member who also ended up leaving the island. Vic, who manages a cleaning company, also had a strong personality, which made him very judgmental of the people he felt were slacking off. They actually created 3 episodes out of this based on Vic, probably because it was the only drama they had on the men's island. In one of the episodes, Vic has a dispute with one of the cameramen, Sam. Unlike Naked and Afraid, the cameramen have to participate in the game too. Also, side note, there were 2 Sams, and this is a different Sam from the one I mentioned earlier who got lost. That being said, Sam's value to the group
ああ、終わった。動ける。もういいから復帰は。
早く来て。
秘技国士無双確定なんて嘘に決まってるじゃない。そんな秘技ないわよ。秘技国士無双確定なんて嘘に決まってるじゃない。そんな秘技ないわよ。
have a ball. The Jim Jam jump is the jumping jive, makes you dig your jive on the mellow side. Hip hip. Hip hip. The Jim Jam jump is a silent jive, makes you 9 foot tall when you're 4'5". Hip hip. Hip hip. Now don't you be that inkaroo, get hip, come on, and then you follow through. You get your study full, you make up the jaunty jumping like the gators do. Jim Jam jump is a jumping jive, makes you like your eggs on the Jersey side. Hip hip. Hip hip. The Jim Jam jumping jive makes you hep hep on the Mahala side. Tibbly boodly boodly biddly bobbly doodly giddly bang 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 da da. Now I've told you about the jumping jive. Jim Jam jump the jumping jive. You got to dig this mellow jive, yes yes. You dig it on the mellow side. A boodly 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 boy. A boodly boodly boy. A biddly biddly gay. Boodly giddly bobbly gaga. A boodly time boy going to ga gang the bomb bomb see the night the bot.
Everybody dance! But be real solid deal, we're gonna figure it out. Hoi, 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 my, ain't that something? A skiddly bumpy, diddly bumpy, Michelle. My,
Ain't that something to shout about? Folks, I'm going down to St. James Infirmary. See my baby there, she's stressed out on a long white table. She's so sweet, so cold, so fair. Let her go, oh bless her. Wherever she may be, she will search this wide world over, but she'll never find another sweet man like me. Now when I die, bear me in my straight leg breeches, put on a box back coat and a Stetson hat.
Gee.
Put a $20 gold piece on my watch chain so you can let all the boys know I died standing pat. Then give me 6 rap shooting pallbearers. Let a chorus girl sing me a song. Put a red hot jazz band in the top man so we can raise hallelujah as we go along. Folks, now that you have heard my story,
Gee.
Hey boy, hand me over another shot of that booze. If anyone should ask you, tell them I got those St. James Infirmary blues.
そういうシャンポンか。デッキに4枚入ってないから骨んだよ。意味ねー、意味ねー、意味ねー、普通に唱えろ。ワルキーか。高めー。
この展望は薬杯。
You're liable to read in the Bible.
It ain't necessary. To the group is very abstract because Sam is creative. The unfortunate truth is that generally the majority of creative people. You in that case on stair number 2? It looks like he's just turning his head to the right. It's not like he's sitting there staring directly at you for like a minute straight. There's no way you could conclusively say that he's ogling you in that case. Also, if he is looking, how do you know he's not looking at you because you have a camera set up next to you and you're talking to yourself? If I were working out, that would distract the crap out of me. Mainly because I don't want to be on film when I'm just trying to work out on a piece of equipment that happens to be in the line of sight of your camera.
There's mirrors everywhere, so it's like you can easily catch people in the act. Oh, this is nothing.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure this out. Let's do some math. Let's say it is the case that he's staring. He is at such an angle that he really should only be able to see the back of her head. But then she says there are mirrors everywhere, which means if she can see him without looking back, there's probably a mirror directly in front of her. Now riddle me this, because she says this here. For those of you who aren't looking on screen, she put up text that said she's trying to avoid weirdos like the guy in the background. So if her whole purpose is to avoid guys like this, then why is she faced frontwards towards the mirror in a way where the whole taco can be seen during the hip thrust? It certainly can be seen from the camera angle she chose at multiple points in the video, which is weird because she made this post on Twitter saying that she doesn't want to be sexualized. Just for comparison, here is famous TikTok star Drew Afualo filming this same exercise where she filmed it from the side. This looks like a girl who is not shooting a video to be sexualized. Also, for comparison to the first girl I showed in this video that shot her deadlift for TikTok from the back, here's Drew showing a deadlift in a non-sexual way by filming it from the front. So maybe it's not you being a woman in the gym, maybe it's the way you're holding the camera.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the 35s now. I want you to watch very carefully. Just watch. Here's the 5 as £5. And these are the weights.
Huh?
Excuse me? You don't have to do that. It's okay. No, it's okay. I got it. Thank you, though.
Oh, now he's done it. There's the misogyny. He tried to help her put a 35-pound plate on the bar. How dare he? Now, it says in the video that he walked over to get a cleansing wipe, and at that moment, to the onlooker, I imagine that it looks like she's struggling to put a plate on the bar. I mean, that's a pretty reasonable assumption. She said in a video made around a month ago on YouTube that she weighs 100 pounds, which means that weight is more than a third of what she weighs, and in order to get it set up, she has to pick up the weight with one arm, lift the barbell up with the other arm, and place the plate onto the bar. Personally, I don't do hip thrusts, so I'm not super familiar with what a good number is, but I see Drew Afualo here doing over 400 pounds, while this girl Jessica is doing what looks like only 125 pounds. So this guy's assumption that she doesn't have a lot of strength and is probably going to struggle with putting that weight on the barbell is pretty valid. People help each other at the gym all the time. It's the courteous thing to do. It's not like he put that weight on and said, "Hey, can I have your number?" Clearly he didn't try something like that because it would have been on camera. But her reaction to him trying to help her is to show his face on TikTok, accuse him of some of the worst possible things, and then say this.
See what I mean?
What made you think that you were going to come out looking like the good guy here? And I know I kind of alluded to this earlier, but this girl literally has an OnlyFans. Allegedly. Okay, the OnlyFans thing was apparently a joke she made, but she has a fan house, which sounds like it's basically the same thing. You know, for a girl who doesn't like being sexualized, she sure takes some strange photos. And for a paid subscription to her fan house, you can see extra progress pics. Those must be some pretty interesting progress pics because personally, I can't imagine someone paying to essentially watch me do the equivalent of showing off my trophy room. I see you can get ASMR content on her fan house as well because no one ever sexualizes that. Also, could you please keep all these people in the background out of your OnlyFans content? Exactly who is the predator here? Is this what people who go to the gym now are subjected to? How am I supposed to work out when I constantly have to worry about some e-girl filming me? This girl has no shame and straight up films in the locker room too. And then she tries to gaslight by saying people are subscribing to her for behind the scenes stuff, and she doesn't do explicit content. Bruh, why do you think a guy would pay to see your air quote progress photos? You don't have to be nude to be salacious. I can't imagine any other reason why people would be there. I mean,
早く来て。対局の歓喜に溺れましょう。